The Richmond Spiders are dribbling their way into the NCAA tournament after defeating Rhode Island last weekend 65-51. But the VCU women's basketball team still put up a fight. It's a beautiful day out here, and just behind me you can see where construction crews have began working on what will soon be the city's new attraction. I'm here at VCU, where students are gathered to educate the community during Sexual Assault and Awareness Month. Today's Take Back the Night seeks to give a voice to those who may not have one. I am currently standing at West Franklin and West Gray Street, where police believe the person was attacked in an alley. Now, according to the American Heart Association, heart disease is the #1 killer, and it almost took the life of one mom who thought that her symptoms were postpartum side effects. Richmond police say that a man and a teenager were rushed here at VCU's emergency room after a shooting that took place outside of a community center at Richmond's East End. Hamburgers, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, but replace the steak with a plant-based meat substitute. These are the specials at Philly Vegan on Hull Street in Richmond. Owner Samuel Vini says this new take on vegan food welcomes all, even those who may not be vegan.
I started with being vegetarian, and then after I tried that for a little while, I moved over to being vegan, and then it just had so many benefits to my body and to my life that I just continued with it.
For Vini and his team, they take a unique approach when it comes to preparing the food.
We love via meditation. We meditate every day and pour love into our food with the intent that whoever eats it allows them to become the best version of themselves possible.
Here at Philly Vegan, Vini and his team say that people have traveled as far as Florida and the Hampton Roads area to be able to enjoy Philly Vegan. However, Vini also says that he has plans to expand soon.
We do look to expand. Our plan is to have at least one in every state within the next 5 years. So Philly Vegan is going to be a franchise.
When purchasing from the restaurant, Philly Vegan isn't the only business you're supporting. Chef Ratha Shea says a network of Black-owned businesses work together.
As far as like our lemonades, we do partner with other Black-owned businesses locally. You come to Philly Vegan, you can actually support like 3 other local Black-owned businesses.
According to the Yelp data gathered by Richmond Region Tourism, Richmond ranks #2 as one of the top cities for Black-owned businesses. Tamika Jefferson with Richmond Region Tourism and the Black RVA Project says the data shows these businesses are growing.
Yep, data showing that in 2023, Richmond was like the second in the nation of opening the highest amount of businesses, Black-owned businesses to be specific. And so it truly shows how important they are to community and how important they are to the economic growth of the area.
Vini shares some advice for anyone looking to start their own business.
You can do anything that you want to. I know it sounds cliche, but anything you put your mind to, you can truly do it. Take the time to think about it. If you love it, then it's not going to be work. It's going to be joy. Even when it's the toughest parts and toughest times, it's going to be joy.
Reporting in Richmond for VCU Insight and the newsroom at VCU News, I'm Nia McMillan.
Oh, like I'm going on the stage. Yeah.
It's Delegate Destiny LaVere Bowling's first session in the Virginia General Assembly representing the 80th District. She says she knows her elected position gives her a platform, and although she's passionate about many issues, one particular topic hits home: the high maternal and infant mortality rate in the Black community.
Talking about real lives who just want to grow their family and are dying because they want to grow their family.
It's a topic she has experienced firsthand.
So that's his little handprint, and it's so cute. I think so anyway.
She lost her son Noah last year.
Actually having labor contractions and like labor pains and didn't know. Like I was going to events. This was during campaign season.
Bowling says she had difficulty getting in contact with her OBGYN's office.
Just unbearable, but it got to the point where I went to the bathroom and my water broke. I felt constipated, but my water actually broke and had to be rushed to the hospital.
Noah was born at 19 weeks old and was stillborn.
I'm Noah Gabriel Bowling. He was born on August 26th at 11 p.m. exactly. slid on out.
Although her time with him was brief, she says she still remembers all the little things about him.
He had in his little hat, which he couldn't even really fit in this diaper. It was a little big on him. But it was cute. It was cute.
According to the March of Dimes, in 2019 to 2021, the Black infant mortality rate in Virginia was the highest amongst Black women compared to other ethnicities. And the maternal mortality rate is also just as disturbingly high. Nationwide, Black women are up to 3 times as more likely to die during childbirth. However, that number can be higher or lower depending on where you're from.
For some patients, that in some areas, in really rural places, that can be as high as 6 times their counterparts. So really having some appreciation for having access to care and having access to good care, so that we are not dismissing the fact that some women are really at risk.
I sat down with Dr. Tashima Lambert-Giles and asked what are some of the causes.
So when we talk about the actual reasons for maternal death, we talk about hypertensive disorders from a Black maternal death standpoint, but then we also talk about things like hemorrhage, and we talk about things like sepsis.
Could these deaths be preventable?
Oh man, the CDC did a study on that and said 80% of our maternal deaths are preventable. 80%, that is a huge number. And that is exactly why this is a big deal and why we're talking about this in the first place. Because if 80% of the deaths that we are seeing are preventable deaths, that means that there is a lot that we can do for this process.
There are doctors who believe Black women have a higher pain tolerance than any other racial group, which isn't true. This is something that doula and founder of Birth in Color RVA, Kenda Sutton L., says has been ingrained in history.
Black people have never been treated fairly in the healthcare system. So a system that hasn't been designed for us, that was never really to help us or to help us become healthy, we're still in that same system.
According to advocates, in order to counter this belief, studies have been conducted showing that many Black women's concerns are not being heard by medical providers. This type of action is deadly, which is why Sutton L. says it's important for Black families to have advocates on their side through the entire pregnancy.
It's extremely important, right? So you have someone in the room that looks just like you, so you don't feel threatened or anything. You have someone who's educating you and your partner. We don't take the place of a partner, we empower both.
Pregnancy can be a happy but stressful time for many women, but Dr. Lambert-Giles says Black women face an extra hurdle.
The Black community is already oppressed in so many other ways that before pregnancy, they are just having so much that's coming onto this plate. I think that trauma outside of pregnancy kind of just adds to that, right?
I know the stories. I know the truth. I know that women that look like me and other women, we're not just numbers. It's not just words, black and white on a paper. Real lives. And we can change and affect real lives every day.
Bowling says with her position at the state legislature, she's hoping to affect change.
So I'm prepared to fight, and it's not an issue that I'm going to give up on. It's not an issue that one piece of legislation is going to fix. There's a lot of systemic things that we have to dig into, and maybe we might not be the place to solve all of the systemic issues, but we're for sure the place to start.
Reporting for VCU Insight and the newsroom at VCU News, I'm Nia McMillan.